Welcome back to a new one, and in this one we need to talk about the Euclidean generator. This one can generate patterns up to 4 different voices. And I want to start simple because it can be a little bit overwhelming. As soon as you just throw it or you select it and you try to generate something, it's just going to give you something not very tasty, let's say. If I play it back, we get something like that. If we take a look at the pattern icon, this will tell us everything that we need to know about the pattern that we are generating. Just to make it simple, I will go to density and I'm going to go all the way down in density and all the way down on steps. So we have 2 steps and density of 1. The division really matters because I'm using 1/16 on the grid and 1/16 on division. So when I generate something, I know that everything will just be right there on the grid. Still, you can, if you go to the division, offset from what you have on the main grid. Let's say that I want to generate triplets, I'm going to be getting that. Or maybe I want to do 8s, I can, and on and on and on. In our case, I'm going to use 16, select everything, and just delete. If you take a look at the steps and the icon, it says 2. And we have 4 different voices, 1 for each color. And then on the icon right here, we have 2 different outcomes. The pattern or the voice could be on the left or could be on the right. If I generate something, I'm going to get something like that. And it is very repetitive. We get the step 1 and then the step 2. And this is what we are getting with the voices, is putting something on the 1 or on the 2, because we have only 2 steps. When you click the dice, it will just take the voices and just allocate the voices on random positions. That's how the Euclidean works, or, that's the main idea. In this case, it's just not that fun because we only have, 2 different steps. Complexity comes when we go up in steps. I'm going to go maybe to 4 different steps. So now when clicking the dice, it means that we have 4 different possibilities or locations where the steps will fall. And I'm going to just delete everything and start over. I'm going to click the dice and we are getting it. And if I play it back, it's going to sound a little bit better because, now it's just a little bit less predictable, more random. And as we keep going up on steps, it will get more random and less predictable. I'm going to go to 8 steps. If you take a look at the chart, now we have 8 different steps. And when we generate a new pattern, it's less repetitive and, a little bit more tasty, let's say. In terms of steps, we can go all the way up to 16. Now, if I go all the way up and generate a new pattern, we can hear that it's less repetitive, but also we have a lot of empty spaces, a lot of silences. And that's fine because we have a lot of different possibilities. And we only have 4 different voices. So here is where the density comes into play. I'm going to go back to 8 steps. The density means how many times a voice will appear on each of the possibilities. If you take a look at the pattern icon, we can only see 1 color for each of the voices. And this is because the density is 1. On all the different possibilities, the voice will appear just 1 time. And that's why when we go up on steps, we have a lot of empty spaces. If we go to 2, that means that the voice or a voice will appear a maximum of 2 times. And again, if we look at the chart, the yellow, it's appearing on 1 and then 2, then the blue 1, 2, pink 1, 2. So, twice for each voice. And again, if we play it, it's just going to sound a little bit more dense. So a lot more dense than this. And if we keep going up, maybe if I go to 3 now, each voice will appear 3 times. And, you can keep going up. And at some point, it's just going to be, you're creating stacks pretty much. I'm going to stay on density of 3 and then steps of 8. If I generate something new, I guess we get this back. But notice that every time I click on the dice, the rotation on each of the voices will change. So since we have up to 16 different places where we can allocate a voice, this will take the voice and put it on one of the different locations that we have available. So what we can do, we can just take the one, go to 0, take the other one to 0, 0, 0. So now all the different voices will be right at the beginning of whatever is that we are generating. And we can see it on the charts. All the voices will align at some point. So if I play it back, maybe I just don't like one of the voices. I want to rotate the voice. I'm going to go here and just move that voice. We can change the location and adjust whatever is that we are getting back. Maybe density of 3 is just a little bit too much, maybe too crowded. There we go. Maybe I don't like this one. I'm gonna move it. Cool. Another thing that you can do, since this generates four different voices, you can go to that voice, click it, and it will just turn it off. Same thing with the other ones. Maybe I just want 2 notes. Well, we get it. I'm going to go back and enable all 4 different voices. And if you take a look at the top, I'm using a scale, C minor. So when we generate something new, whatever is that we generate will not fit into the scale. This is something that the Euclidean will not do. It will not listen to your scale. So how can we adjust the different pitches or voices to maybe fit to the scale? Now for this, we need to go to the voices panel. And right here, what you can do with the arrows, you pretty much offset the position of the 4 different voices. Maybe if I want to go down, I'm going down in pitch and moving all at once. Same if you want to go maybe up. But what you can do, maybe you can go to that very specific voice, and if you hold shift, you don't need to hold shift, but it's a little bit more controllable. You just hold the shift and just move it up by dragging with the mouse. And also, maybe when selected the voice, you can use the up and down arrow keys just to move it by 1 semitone. And by just doing something like this, I can just go to the 4 voices and just put them where I want so they can fit on my scale. And then maybe we can go to the pattern and just click and generate a new one, and it will, stay on that pitch. Also, what you get at the right side, and you can turn them off from here if you want to, you have the velocity. And this means, the velocity. So if I bring the velocity in, maybe the green voice is just going to be down, the red voice is going to be up, and the other ones maybe down. So just like this, we can get really cool patterns. Of course, you can use the Euclidean for some other things, but you need to adjust it. I'm going to go to a drum rack, and we have different things here. So I can just generate something, and it will just not sound very good. So maybe adjusting the density and the steps, we'll be getting something a little bit better. Maybe I'm going to use a density of 1, and that's good. Sounds fine. Remember always that you can just go to the voices and offset the voices. Maybe I want the kick to be on a different place. And again, that's good. Very creative, let's say. Okay, so hopefully you now understand how it works and you can use it on your workflow. If you liked all of this and you learned something new, remember to like and subscribe. And if you have the money and you want to buy me a coffee to say thanks, you can. Go to the links at the description. You have links for PayPal, YouTube Thanks, and Patreon.